All right, so right off the bat, I have to pretty much apologize for that of signal I have at this particular convention center. My name is Kyle. Welcome to the Conservative Take. We're at Turning Point USA's Student Action Summit in Florida 2022. And I don't know what you caught on the opening. I was trying to play some music and try to do some other things, show some slides. That last picture you saw there was a picture of myself, Joshua, and Kyle, good friends of ours. Just got a chance to meet them for the very first today. It's so exciting. It's so cool to get together with other conservatives, people who share a similar story, simply from the sense that, for one, we all love America. So at the base core, we all have that. But some conservatives also have a past. We have another side of our existence where we're not too proud of, myself included. And that involves me being a liberal, left-leaning, BLM before BLM, Democrat, whatever. And so in doing so, we have a transformation to where we are now. And it's those kind of relationships that bond us together, and we can share those experiences. And Callie and Josh, I don't think they would be mad if I mentioned that, because if you know their story, you would know that would be the case. So I'm so happy to meet them. So what I plan on doing in this particular live stream is I'm going to broadcast from a new area, actually from the third floor. The actual convention is actually taking place right up here in the exhibit. I think it's called the East Hall. And so there's new security setups, of course, because President Trump is going to be speaking later. Last night, Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, spoke, and it was very, very powerful. If you want to catch up a summary of that, go look at our live stream from last night. Jackie and myself got back to our hotel room and had about a 33-minute discussion on what the first day's events look like from our perspective. So a lot of stuff to talk about. Right now, I'm a much better equipped at kind of sharing with you what's going on. Because before, I was down in a little cubby hole down here. I couldn't really show you or say much. But now, I can at least tell you what's going on from a standpoint. I can look here and see the Rumble exhibit, or I guess it's more their area, where they do the live broadcasting. Charlie Kirk did his programming there. And right next to them is the Fox News section right across from them. And this whole media row section is in clear view of me. And the other section I want to go into and do a recording from is going to be the exhibit hall, because in there's a lot of cool stuff in there that I want to talk to people that I've met, particularly in Patriot Mobile. I want to look at my cell phone service. And this is not an advertisement. I'm not trying to promote them. I guess I am promoting them. I'm going to look at them and look to see if I can switch my mobile service over. But also True Social's over there as well. I want to talk to some guys over there. BJ Lawson, a friend of mine who I reconnected from, probably about 8 years ago. He ran for Congress, and he was a young Republican back in the day, and I was his contemporary at the time. I think he was over Wake County. I was over Guilford County. And so we connected. He noticed me. And that's another cool thing about this whole thing, is people who recognize you from the past, or even now having a channel with the Conservative Take. It really does. It makes it even more enjoyable. So let's look at some comments here. We have one here and see if we have a question. Mark Jackson is on. He says, I'm not mad about it. I was you. Yeah, exactly. Thanks for coming on, Mark. And again, I didn't get a chance to follow up on your email from last night. I will get to that as soon as I get some downtime. And I really appreciate you coming on. Yeah, so I hope I sound pretty well. I spent literally about, audio is one of the hardest things to do when it comes to media. The video you can kind of fix because you can see it, give instant feedback. But with audio, it's a lot more difficult because you have a lot more factors that are variable. Every room you're in is different, and so the ambiance, the popping sounds that happen if you slam a table, you click the keyboard, all those things can be mitigated, with one exception, because you downgrade your quality unless you get a super expensive microphone, which I don't have yet. So until that day happens, that's going to be the case. And even if you have a super duper professional microphone, you still have to worry about the room you're in, dampers on the walls, and all that sort of thing to make things as enjoyable to the listener as possible, because people do not forgive bad audio. They'll forgive grainy footage all day long. They will not forgive bad audio. Okay, yeah, thank you, Capital J. I appreciate that. Since the audio is breaking up, I just don't have a really good signal here, guys. Even the signal that they have here in the convention hall isn't the best. So right now I'm using literally my phone right next to my computer here, and we're using the mobile hotspot. So hopefully, if it gets too bad, we'll just cut the feed and we'll do a live tonight at my hotel room. But if you guys can just bear with me, I really appreciate that. So let's go to the next comment here. Oh, no. I enjoy it, Mark. I enjoy anything that's not political at this point. And Capital J, thank you so much for that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have no idea how bad this looks. Now, I have a light here, just lit up here, lights. I have everything I can possibly do to make this susceptible. Now, I do have a tripod coming. Right now, it's on my monitor. You may see it jiggering back and forth, but until I get that tripod, I left the wrong adapter at the apartment. So when that gets here, I'll have a stable tripod for the camera. But that's the best I can do, guys. So do the best I can, and I will do a live stream at some point on the road. But on the actual tarmac, so to speak, of the media row, and also in the exhibit hall. And I have VIP as well. So I'll go back to the VIP section at some point and see if I get some interviews with some of the speakers as well, if they'll have me. So a lot to cover, and some of that might not be live because the very fact of this thing here, I don't want it to be a bad interview. So I'll do that in post. I'll fix it and put it up online. With that being said, guys, let me just go ahead and just say this. I prep a graphic here to promote this that I have going on now. I'm going to get rid of my backdrop here, and so it won't be too confusing. And I'm going to drop Mark's comment here, and then I'm going to put up a graphic here that I just put up on what I'm trying to promote for the promotion for the ways you can help us. And if you go to the conservative take .locals.com. You go there, there's going to be a way for you to sign up for free on locals.com. It's a platform that I believe Dave Rubin started, and he actually sold it to Rumble. And now Rumble uses it as their primary back-end membership, Patreon / type environment for their contributors. And so you can sign up for free at that particular level, but you can get most of the content that's out there right now. But some content that's going to be limited to what I can say. I want to make sure people who are actually contributing can get better content. They'll have access to that. And that's going to be like, I think $2 a month is the minimum that Rumble says. I wanted to make it 50 cents, but they won't let me. The minimum you could do is $2. But that's something you can do. But if you don't want to do that or try it out, you can put in the promotional code Brandon and get the first month on premium there. So try it out, and I will, as I get more members out there, I'll be putting more content out there. Because if you were actually on, let's say, YouTube and have joined on YouTube, then you know that once I got a couple members on there that are actually paying, I put way more content out there. A packing video of how I packed all my stuff up, which, by the way, isn't getting used. That's neither here nor there, but it is what it is. So anyway, enough of the promotional stuff. Let's get back to the actual convention. So this, I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to show you what the setup is right now for the speakers today. And hopefully this will come up okay. Let's see. I'm not going to share any audio on that one. Let's go here. All right, so if you can see that, what comes up. All right, so I'm going to come over here and talk to what these points here. So, oops. So right now, it looks like the event schedule is at 1 p.m., which is right now. Actually, Laura Ingram is speaking. If you can see her right now on the screen, you can see her speaking. You can see it online, streaming live. Again, the coverage may be horrible. So Laura Ingram right now is speaking. She'll be going on till 1:35. Actually, well, I don't know if she's still going or not, but she should have been finished by 1:35. Right now, it's 1:46. She could be going over. This could be tape delayed. Who knows? Senator Rick Scott is scheduled to be on stage right now at 1:40. And after that, at 1:55, Eduardo Bolsonaro will be coming up till about 2:05. Former White House Press Secretary Ari Fletcher will be coming on at 2:05 for about 20 minutes. And I don't know how to pronounce this person's name, Kat Timpf. She'll be coming on at 2:25, and we're going on down to Marjorie Taylor Greene, who my wife actually got a picture with my son yesterday. They're walking around, and she got a picture with them. We're coming up on 3:20, and Benny Johnson, and so on and so on. There are so many people that are going to be speaking. I'm looking forward to hearing Don Jr. Actually, he's one of my favorites, only because I think he is out of control when it comes to him saying what shouldn't be said from a liberal's ear standpoint, because he just says it what it is. He, to me, has a really good grasp on policy, and I just like him. I think he's cool. He's a hunter, and just whatever. And of course, President Trump speaks later tonight. Now, if you're coming in here to the convention, you're here yesterday, things are a little different. I'm not going to tell you everything because I'm pretty sure Secret Service doesn't want me to tell you. They probably don't care, but just I'm not going to be contributing to anything like that. But things are different, so just understand it'll be a longer wait to get into the exhibition hall. But seems like the line is pretty much dying down. So if you come now, it'd be pretty good for you. People are having a good time. It's lively, and people are super duper friendly here at the convention here. So let me take some questions, and I'm gonna move into a couple of current day effects that are going on. Let's see here. We have okay, welcome Jay. Piece of talking here. Camera stick, just signal, yeah. Oh, and the wife is on. She's telling me Junior is going to be fire. Yes, he is. Looking forward to him. And Alexis is on. So let me show you the picture that I met of Kylie just a minute ago. So cool to meet them. And I want to give a special shout out to Josh, her husband. Super duper cool guy. The guy raps. I mean, the guy's smooth. He's smooth. I mean, it's like whatever, right? So I'm in my little cubby hole down here in the corner. I mean, in the pit, right, of the convention center. Way to the right here, down at the second floor. The media's main circus. I mean, I want to call it tarmac. It's right here in front of me. And these guys, I mean, the entire line is coming around the corner. And so I figured, I would sit here. This is where I was yesterday, but it got zero traffic yesterday because, again, security is a lot different today than it was yesterday. So it got no foot traffic over there. So suddenly, all of a sudden, people are just lining up in front of me. I'm setting up and they're staring at me like I'm some sort of imbecile. And so Josh comes up and says, "I think I know this guy." I look up and I recognized him immediately because we talk, online all the time, email and so forth. And so he said, "Yeah, man. So what's going on?" So, yeah, well, I'm in my little thing here. And he says, "Well, because I was supposed to get what I thought I was supposed to get." And this is nothing against negative to Turning Point. I just know next time that a little area for media to set up. Typically, you get that. In all the conferences I've been to, that I've even done myself as a young Republican, when I did my own state convention, we did that as well. However, it didn't happen. So I had all this stuff set up. I mean, tons of equipment. Go look at the video that's on the member section on YouTube, and you'll see what I had prepared. And I can't use half of it. But anyway, so I said, well, this is what I have. He said, you know what? Josh said this. He said, you know what? There's actually a section over there that no one hardly uses that's on the third floor that you may want to check out. I said, you know what, Josh? I know exactly what you're talking about. I didn't even consider that because I was always considering the second floor as being the floor that I need to be on from a legal standpoint in terms of credentials. However, the credentials that I have here is digital media, and according to the people on the actual staff, told me you can go anywhere. It's just you won't have anywhere to set up, but you do what you want. I heard that in the back of my mind, but at the time I was so triggered because I believe when you said where I am. So I'll see a picture. I think she's right now. She wants me to. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just. I'm sharing with you. Just to. And I'm going to do this. All right. So let's go over here. Add these to. Second. To the. Actually, they're already there. I'm going to, this is to be my wife and a YouTuber. The guy is uploads. According to my wife, with like, and he does mostly shorts. And by the way, that being said, while I'm waiting for this to upload, I'm going to say this. So what's going to happen now? When I do my shorts, you're going to see some things that are going to look. You're going to raise an eyebrow, but trust me, there's going to be a method to the madness. And I'm going to say here on the video, what I'm going to do. I'm going to help the actual algorithm pull short. And I'm going to do it in a way clever that a friend of mine told me. Here it comes up. So this wife, I'm figuring it out. And right, this YouTuber, super tall guy he is, but maybe out here. And here is a picture of the bed. There's definitely a delay, so I'm going to wait. Okay, so I can see it. So there may be a delay on your side. That's the setup I have here. And one more picture of sounds. I make this be in a bit here. I want to have this total back quality. Just that's and all the pictures be the pictures. So I'm picture of the engagement. I'm getting feedback from so if again I will again later. So now I'm to comment and certificate on a little bit what I was going to have tonight. I'll cut the feed and do maybe one more quick and then do that would be better called everything I miss here. I'll watch this video, anything I see that's not or repeat and redo. So, yes, I just want to at least give you guys the what's going on. I'm going to turn the camera around the full table, but I'll show you more of that as I go. As I walk down with my camera, I'll do more stuff like that. So let's come here. So Mark says, for this worth, I think you did a great job on the live stream. Yeah, Mark, thank you so much, because that was her first time. And I thought she did fantastically too. We talk like that all the time, but a little bit more raw, because obviously YouTube. But yeah, that's how we roll. And I like to do more with Alexis because she has a more sharper edge to her that I want to come out. And she and I banter on some key fine points of politics, and I think it's fun. But I think we are both obviously on the same side. But I think it's really good, and that plays in itself. I think that would be good for camera. I really do, because I think she and I have fun doing that. Okay. All right. Well, so tell you what, guys, I'm here getting a lot of complaints about bad signal here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this feed short. We've been going for about 26 minutes. That's long enough for any kind of video anyway. So with that, I'm just going to show some subscribers, give them some love, people who've come on and helped this channel. Let me do that right now real quickly. So we have a new subscriber from last month. Actually, he upgraded. That would be The Right Show out in England. That's Ethan. And Jackie also subscribed again as well. So she's also a subscriber. Here's some links here for you to plug us in. And here are our VIP and sponsors of the channel. I can't do without you. And lastly, if you get a chance to go out to locals, theconservativetake.com, theconservativetake.locals.com, and there you can join for free. But if you want to get a premium membership, it'll cost you $2 a month minimum. You can do more if you want, of course. But if you want to just try it, you can use the promo code Brandon, and that will let you have the first month for free. And when I see that, I'll be putting up content left and right as we get more of those people out there. All right, so let's shoot our comments here, and we'll close it out. Okay. Okay, Capital J says a question here. He says, I live 45 minutes from the convention center. I'm wondering if it would be worth it to come down. Well, I do know there are some protesters outside. They are out here protesting, I guess, whatever. As far as I can tell, it would be. If you can get just a generic event ticket, and I would actually tell you what, I would get this right now. I'm not sure if they will mind me saying this, but if you use the code name DADDY, Daddy, that code still works. It gets you 50% off. Now, it worked yesterday. I don't know if it works today. So if you want to use the, go to Turning Point, well, TPUSA.com, TPUSA.com/SAS, Sam, Apple, Sam. Go there, register, new registration, and put in the code name DADDY, Daddy, and that will be half price on all of the tiers. So if it lets you do it, you should be good, okay? Because they'll can print your ticket here on site. So try that. If it works, that's definitely going to be worth it. You can do that. If not, it's your call. But you can come up here and you can just see people outside talking, and you can even get inside a little bit and to the front promo to see what's going on. But you can't get past the first checkpoint. But so just to get a feel, and then if you want to, you can actually buy a ticket at that point from your phone. Use the same password and so forth. So I hope that helps. A few more questions here. Let me see. I did. Okay. Love process. How is the audio right now, guys? If the audio's okay, I'm going to go over some current events right now going on in the media. So let me do this. I'm going to stop the screen here. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share a tab. I'm going to share this tab. I love the Liberty Daily because it's like a Drudge, but Drudge totally went off the deep end. And in fact, if you go back to my YouTube channel, I did one of my earliest videos I did was Has Drudge Sold Out? The Drudge Report, Matt Drudge, the whole thing, you know, with Lewinsky. That's how we got to start for the most part. Well, he was conservative. I think he and I want to say the person who started, it's not conservative. I'm sorry, that was that liberal outlet. He and that lady, Huffington Post. So I think those two started together. One started Huffington, he started Drudge, or maybe I have Breitbart. I don't know which one it was. It doesn't matter. Anyway, he started doing content was just totally ridiculous, totally swampy, totally rhino-y, totally pro-Democrat leaning, and so people just dropped off the face of the earth. And one of the first exposés we did, which is basically like a mini documentary, was Has Drudge Sold Out? And Alexis was the one who did the voiceover for that. So check it out. One of my favorite ones we've ever done. It was a lot of fun doing that. So, and we'll get back to doing some more of those, but I just hadn't had time to really put those together because those take literally about a month to do the right way. All right, so let's get back into, am I streaming now? Perfect. Okay, let's go over here. Let's take a look at some of these headlines and see what we can see. So Steve Bannon contempt case opened door for GOP to compel Hunter Biden testimony. I doubt it, but some think so. I don't have anything to say about Hunter Biden. I really don't. I think the whole thing is just, it's a dog and pony show. I mean, nothing's going to happen out of it until we see some real things happen, some real indictments, some real anything. I'm not even going to comment on it because it's just totally not worth my time or effort. It's just a matter of getting frustrated. I don't feel like doing that. So we have a former college quarterback, Phil Petty, dies following a brief illness at age 43. It's pretty interesting. I'll leave that for locals. I don't know. I mean, this doesn't seem like just a big news day. Texas conservatives slammed GOP senators over faltering. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is not a big news day at all, guys. I'm trying to buy time, but I don't see it at all. This is interesting. WWE chair Vince McMahon announces retirement as company investigates his tenure. Now, I don't know if you guys know, I was a huge WWF fan, or now WWE fan. And, there was a time in my life where I actually thought that was real. And this whole thing right now, what's going on in the world with people gaslighting us, telling us that what we see is not someone, well, I don't want to say it on the air. They're telling us it's rain, but we know good and well it's something else. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look at the color of this backdrop and give me an idea of what I'm talking about. And that whole gaslighting thing is manipulative. It's brainwashing. It's demoralizing, and it's a false reality. And if I want to kind of maybe take WWF and kind of put that into a similar thing, that whole thing wasn't real. It was scripted. It was smoke and mirrors the whole way. But at least the WWF or WWE, at least that was fairly entertaining, at least for an adolescent boy growing up. But what we're seeing now is not entertaining. It's the opposite of that. It's telling us something that is totally horrible, but telling us the opposite. And so I remember when I first found out that truly that it was a scripted sport, and how I felt about that, and how I felt about learning that Santa Claus didn't exist, how I felt about that. And not that I have a really deep tie into any of this, but I think there is a burden, there is a price that we're going to pay from years of being lied to, and especially conservatives, because we're the ones standing on the wall, like the watchtower kind of thing, and warning people, this isn't true, this isn't right. And I think there's going to be a point in time when there's going to be a certain price to pay for us having to deal with that psychologically. I don't know what that is, how it looks like, but there may be even bigger price to pay for people who actually were gaslit and believed it, and are suddenly waking up to that reality that, oh my goodness, this is actually, the case. And now I'm actually in a reality that I didn't realize existed over these several years. Similar to the way I was when I was a Black militant pre-BLM person. And when I finally had my eyes opened and finally realized that I had been lied to, I became a totally different person in the opposite direction of what I was before. So I don't know, guys. You tell me, what do you think? Do you think that there's going to be a moment in time when people wake up, that they're in the Matrix, or they're going to stay with the blue pill and keep going forward? Calling rain. Okay. See. Says look up CPU port temp free software. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that when this is over. Calling it rain. Looking forward to the avatar. Yes, I will. This here, God exists and Santa Claus does. That's one thing I told my kids. I said, look, no, I obviously I believe I believe that God exists. I believe He exists in the form of the three persons: Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. And we don't tell our son that Santa Claus exists. We don't tell him that. We tell him, he does not exist. He exists in the mall. He exists on TV, and we can enjoy that. He existed as a person, Saint Nicholas, out. I believe it was I don't know, host Laodicea, where he was actually a person who legend had it that he was gave gifts to kids. His first one was actually giving an endowment to a father who lost money on a business deal, and all of a sudden he didn't have any money for his daughter's endowment, and so he actually gave gold coins in the stockings of those daughters, and that's how it started. So, but outside of that, I want my kid to believe me when I tell him things of biblical nature do exist. I don't want him thinking that all of a sudden, wow, well, God, he lied to me about Santa Claus. What else he lied to me about? So that's my take on that. You know what? I love that. I love that. What do you call it? It was back in the 90s. There was I don't know if it's a meme. It was like a story, a scientific study of Santa Claus and what it would take for him to travel the world and do what he had to do from a scientific physics standpoint. It was so funny. So funny. Oh, by the way, I tell you a fantastic audiobook. I can tell my wife right now, she's already thinking this. Oh my goodness, she's gonna tell the story on live internet. But so there's a book. I'm gonna look it up real quickly. It's called The Autobiography of Santa Claus. And it is absolutely fantastic. And let me type this in real quick. So okay, here we go. So I'm gonna share the screen here and show you this, guys. All right, so here's the book. It's by Mark Wynn. And what's cool about this book is that it educates you on the history of the real person who Saint Nicholas, and all the story, the origin stories of this person, this real life person, and how it transcended into him becoming Santa Claus. And it does it in a way that is just so enjoyable. There's 25 chapters, so you can read one each day of the month, and it really gets you into the spirit of Christmas. It's a trilogy. The second book, which I read also, is called How Mrs. Claus Saved Christmas. And this particular book is actually pretty depressing. It gets into the Puritans coming over. It deals into basically the Roundheads, how they banned Christmas, and how I believe it was, if I say this wrong, I'm sorry, one of the kings they actually had killed. I'm not sure which king it was, over the whole thing. And it was just the whole notion of how Christmas was taken from a secular holiday and then taken by the church to use in replacement of it. They didn't like what was going on. They tried to use the holiday of, I guess it was I wasn't prepared for this. I'm not really prepared to say this, but Saturnalia, I believe, first week of January, and first the last 2 weeks of Christmas, basically the 12 days of Christmas, that whole week. Anyway, that was worshipped by the Druids and the pagans of the day, and those guys were doing it up, right? They were doing all kind of things that the church didn't like. So the church wanted to co-opt that, and they created Christmas on top of that to use Christmas symbols on top of that to celebrate Christ's birth. And so the Puritans and those people didn't like that, and there was a big civil war about that. And it was showing you how Christmas was almost abolished as a holiday, and how Mrs. Claus went to the New World and actually had to deal with that and would risk life and limb. It's a more sobering book. It's more historical in nature. But of course, it has characters in there who are fictional, but the actual circumstances around those events were actually real. And lastly, the third book of that series, Mark, is going to be the Great Santa Chase, or the Great Santa Search. And this is basically about how Christmas has been commercialized, and Santa Claus is trying to enter into a American Idol type program to compete against finding the real Santa Claus. So the real Santa Claus is actually going into a search game show to find the Santa Claus. So he's actually doing that. So that's that. Anyway, enough about that. See. All right, we've been going about 41 minutes, guys. Yeah. She was gonna, yeah. My light's getting bad. So if you can bring another battery, AA batteries to the convention, you can do it. You're not here yet, Alexis? Please do so. 2 AA batteries. Be awesome. All right. So that's it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and close it out here. My light's getting dim here. I'm going to save it for later. So with no light here, I'm going to actually stop the stream. Thank you guys so much for coming on the Conservative Take. I had a blast talking to you guys here. And we'll probably do this again later this afternoon, about 9 o'clock. And with me and Jackie, we'll do it one more time. Get a whole recap of President Trump Jr., Major Tyler Green, her as well, and everyone else that we come encounter with. And that's it. So much to talk about. I can't do it all in 40 minutes or more or less, but I'm going to close it there and stop it there. And so once again, everybody, thank you for hanging out with the Conservative Take. My name is Kyle. If you like what we do here, we take pop culture and politics and LGBT rights, then please consider liking and subscribing. And by all means, share with your friends, because that's ultimately how all of this gets spread, because I can't do it without you guys. All right? With that, thank you so much.